So let's move on to the next topic. One which is very like current and ongoing in the UK, especially. It's the complicated case of drill music, UK drill. Now, obviously, UK drill has a bit of a reputation for being violent, for inciting violence, being the reason behind all of the murders and violence that we see on the streets of London, especially over the last year or so. And there has been a concerted effort by the police, the media, to really slander UK drill and take active steps to prevent drill artists from making drill and from drill artists making money off it. So as recently as like last year, the Metropolitan Police basically worked with YouTube to take a lot of drill videos down, and they are currently in the process of giving a criminal behavior order to a group called 1011, which will basically prevent them from making any drill music of any kind. So a lot has been made about drill, whether it's a product of the environment that people live in, or is it just a demon thing that's taken over our kids and is now the reason behind the moral panic and the moral decay of society.
Decay.
As the establishment will tell you. So I guess what we wanted to get into was, is drill kind of like an art form, or is it a genuine problem that we need to eradicate from music generally?
I think you, man, can probably speak to drill more than me because I don't really listen to it. But
You should.
yeah, I mean, Mo, you're more like in the streets than both of us.
not
So
in no streets.
you can speak to.
You're definitely in these streets.
I'm not in no
You're
streets.
defo in these
I'm not
streets.
in no streets.
You're
man.
in these streets.
I live in North London.
You're from the same area as Heady One.
Don't even start that. Shout out to Heady One though. Shout out,
You are
shout out to all of them.
You are.
But like, I'm not in no streets, man. But anyway, it's a tricky one. Do I feel like drill plays any part of quote unquote youth crime?
Yeah.
No. I don't feel like it plays a single point at all. Because the numbers have gone up. I don't feel like the numbers have gone up as drastic as we think it has. If you want me to be completely
You mean as far
honest.
as crime rate and stuff?
Yeah, I don't think it's gone up as dramatic as we think it has. Like, I think like 3 years ago, there was like, what? There was still 20 plus kids that got stabbed, if I remember correctly. It was a dumb number at one point, I remember. But it's like, there was no drill music back then. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like there's no correlation between drill music and violence.
Do you feel like it's just like the next step in like music taking a form and people getting angry about it?
Yeah, I
because-
feel like UK, we're so behind. It's a joke. Like, the way I view it is, do you remember, like, for example, when gangster rap first came out in America? And it was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
NW, what is this? They're causing this. Like, you guys need to understand, as old as that was, we've only just started doing drill over here.
Yeah.
It's a new thing.
And stabbings have been around for...
It's a, oh my God, what's going on here? These guys are doing this. Do you know what I mean? I feel like we're so behind that we don't even acknowledge how behind we are. And it's like, I feel like the government need an excuse for everything that's going on, but blaming themselves.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? They need an excuse for, I live in Tottenham. I see like, yo, what's going on? I see that like when I was growing up, we could do stuff. We used to be able to go to an after school club. We used to go to a football club after school. That same primary school that's across the road have none of that now. So if I'm not there, I'm going somewhere else. And if that means I'm in the life of crime, I'm in that life of crime. If you're taking all the resources away from an area that I live in, like say Tottenham, and then these rappers are gonna know all they rap all they know. It's their truth. You can't victimize someone for speaking their truth. Now, do I think some people look at that life and think, oh my God, I want it? Yeah. But I genuinely don't believe that's people that's in the inner cities.
Do you think that drill... So, what's the word? Sorry, what's the word I'm looking for? My mind's gone completely blank. Damn. Do you think it glorifies
Nah, because I feel like that's all they know.
that sort of lifestyle?
Nah, I feel like that's all they know.
No, it definitely does, but not in a way that is like, oh yeah, look at me, you can be like this sort of thing. It's glorifying in a sense of, this is what I'm seeing, this is what I'm experiencing on a day to day. Have it. Look at it, you know what I mean? But this is where the lines are blurred, is everybody else thinking that is them saying you should do this.
But I feel like I feel like when you guys say that, or when people, not you guys, like when the media says, it's rising that like youth crime, I feel like the only people that live vicariously through bars is white kids from out of London.
I disagree with that.
I feel like they live vicariously through the bars more than we do.
No, I disagree with that.
When
I
I-
feel like... Sorry to cut you off.
Like, say for example, when you go Leeds or whatever, them man are rocking out with drill a lot more than people in London. and the posh white kids are living vicariously. Do you know what? It's hard.
That's a thing for like rap music.
Yeah,
generally.
Yeah,
and
I
feel
wouldn't say they're living more vicariously.
Obviously
through
feel
rap
like they
music,
are.
Nah,
I feel like when you go, like when you see Glastonbury and you see Stormzy, I know he's not drill, but like you see the way they react to him, or when we go out and then we're rapping along and you see the white kids come around me, Yemi, and it's like, oh my, do you know what I mean? I feel like they live vicariously through rap. Like they look at something, oh my God.
They definitely love it.
Do you know what I mean? I feel like that's drill as well.
And
I
it's
feel
definitely
like
something that because obviously white people loved an insight into that world.
Yeah, that's one point.
Their
That's what I'm trying to say.
parents, not so much.
But they love it. It's a fetish.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Do you get what I mean? Do you get what I'm saying? I feel like, but can you blame drill for? No, I don't think.
No, drill was just the next sound in a cycle of things that tend to upset the establishment, and it gives them another reason to blame black culture for these problems. When maybe before blacks came into this country, we didn't have these problems.
I mean, I didn't personally ask to be in this country.
No,
I'm in this country because of what this country done to my country. If we're going to be
Same.
specific, like, this country has a
shout out colonialism.
This country has a superior complex where it's like they feel like, oh my God, look at these guys coming here. Let's not get into all it, but you know what I mean? It's like they man need a reason for everything that's going wrong with their country, but looking them in the eyes, and it's been like that from the start of time.
Well, they've always thought we're the dregs of society. They've always never really wanted us here. You can just see what they did with the whole Windrush scandal. That's clear and obvious. Even in Big 2019,
Do you know what I mean?
people who have been loyal to the UK and have been fed a dream of what it's meant to be and have contributed to that dream
It's a joke.
are then being told, well, you're not really a citizen.
It's a joke, bro. Like, let me give you. This is why I feel like it has no correlation. Like, if we talk about who's blaming drill music on youth crime, it's the media, right?
The media, the government.
This is no word of a lie. I know someone that got stabbed. One of my brother's close friends got stabbed. He's 30 years old. I swear on everything I love, the media said he's 19. So outside looking in, you're looking at thinking, that's another teenager that died. The guy was 30 years old.
No, they definitely like
Do you get what I'm saying?
frame a story.
So I know they were lying about that personally. So how many more youth crime? I'm not saying it, age really matters, but do you get what I'm saying? I'm saying they could picture a story any which way they want, and the outsider looking in has no say so. I know this guy was a family man. I know he was 30. Like I know it for a fact. Do you know what I mean? And then he got stabbed. They pictured it a way in which they wanted to picture it.
yeah, which is what they do.
they did that with Mark Duggan as well.
That's what I'm saying. And they pictured that how they want to picture it. Like it's jarring. It's getting to, like, and then
100%.
it is.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to blame, drill for any sort of violence in London at all, because violence was there before drill.
You know what I mean?
Was a thing. Yeah. I don't personally listen to drill, but I don't think it's fair to. I won't allow any sort of critique or any sort of like widespread blame on any sort of black music at all. But I do want to introduce another perspective though, because although it's not fair to blame drill for the many stabbings and shootings that are taking place in London, you also got to bear in mind that like just like anything, man, like any sort of like art or culture, things can actually influence certain things as well. So just like although music is all expression, drill is a form of expression for these youths that are doing what they're doing or whatever. But like just like how film can influence you, just how video games can influence you.
I agree 100%.
Music can also do the same. There are some people that, and it's just getting deeper, but like we all have energy. Like we all take in different types of energy, and it's also like sonic, like how sonics can like influence your mind and influence your body, and just rearrange the chemical balance within your body. That's actually something that's quite real as well. So even with like video games and how that may, if you're playing all these shooting games, you don't really know the impact that that's having on you as well.
You become desensitized.
You know what I'm saying? So there's that as well. And then there is also some music that like we listen to continuously. If we're constantly listening to like, music about shooting people, like you don't know what sort of stuff you're taking in. So especially if you're young, you don't know what you're taking in. You don't know what then you may later on act out. You don't know what sort of energy you're pulling in as well. So I think that is also a perspective that can be looked at.
I'm not going to act like drill is a walk in the park. It's not. Obviously, it paints a picture of people, of ops, people getting chefed up, people getting stabbed. There's a language that goes with that as well. There's a kind of like language that then permeates into the streets and stuff like that. And the police and others have caught on
What if
to
that's
that.
your life?
Of course, it's your life, but at the same time, it does. It's kind of like a chicken and egg thing. What came first? But drill, I'm never gonna know how many drill lyrics have contributed to how many murders in London or whatever, but I imagine there's a little bit of like help there. There's a corroboration there between drill stuff and the murder rate or whatever.
I
But
disagree, man.
but to completely blame it on that is completely stupid because
That's where I'm-
that's
yeah.
it's ignoring the environmental factors that come with people who actually make drill. A lot of them don't have anything else to do. They have nothing to turn to,
What the media? Yeah, exactly.
and they have no like
Backup plan.
they have no backup plan. They have no like they have no positive. They might not have any positive figures in their life that are teaching them a different way. The facilities that are around them are being like we're in an age of austerity where like there are cuts to public services such as youth clubs and stuff like that, which would have taken them off the streets as well. So when you're not doing that, you're gonna go for something that A makes money and probably is a little bit like ominous or dangerous or whatever.
But then they love it when it's anyone else but us. That's one thing I mean. Like even for this ain't drill, but you know Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan is the biggest critic of UK rap. The biggest critic. Like he proper gets onto black kids rapping.
And he can suck out.
And then do you remember? Just to give you, do you remember the white kid that was on Thiago Silva, the one that came
Alex.
on Glastonbury, whatever the youth's name is, and then he was on to Piers Morgan's show, and Piers Morgan's like, "Oh, you're a kid. You took your chance and you ran with it." That's
Yeah,
literally
he
what
wouldn't
said
have said
on
that
the
to a
show.
black boy.
Literally, he said, "You took your chance. You ran with it. Every kid should be like you."
But that's a deeper issue, bro.
But then my thing is, the minute it's us, man, it's like it's a problem. Do I
yeah,
feel
but
like?
we know what that is.
But do I feel like there's a link between violence and maybe I'm desensitized so much or ignorant. I don't know. I just don't see I don't see a correlation.
You
I feel
can't
like-
see- there's
I
no-
feel like these kids were doing this before the music.
There's no tangible thing that you can take and look at and
Yeah,
say,
that's what I'm saying.
yeah, drill has definitely linked to this many murders or whatever. But
You're saying the
you
music
can't
can.
rule it out.
I can't rule, but I genuinely, in my heart of hearts, believe these kids will be doing this if there was no drill music.
Yeah, but the only
Drill music doesn't make a man wake up today and think,
But the only
gonna
difference
go hit the
is
road.
between them doing it before drill and after drill is with drill you're hearing a lot of them brag about it. You're hearing a lot of them spread and give out messages in the music to rival gangs and
but we've
shit.
been hearing that since we was young.
Nah, that's the difference is without the drill music and without even certain type of music, you don't have many of them sending for actually real rival gangs that are around the corner.
But the people that didn't listen to drill, say there was no drill music. The people that listen to drill music now, if they didn't listen to drill music, they're listening to Styles P, Jadakiss. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't feel like there's a difference between if they listen to someone from Tottenham or if they listen to someone from.
No, there is a
It's
difference
always
because
it's
it's
always
local.
different because it's more real here.
It's local.
And it's yeah, we're
I
all
feel you,
near
but
it.
I just feel like the people that if they don't listen to drill music, they'll be listening to them. And I feel like if they're setting what they're doing, they're setting what they're doing. Do you get what I'm saying?
Bro, what I'm trying to say
They'll
is
still be rolled if they're going to be rolled.
the difference is, let me say I'm a drill artist and you're a drill artist, right? I've got beef with you off the mics. We both become rappers. I'm now going to rap about the fact that me and you got beef and I'm going to send for you. You and your rival group, you're then going to retaliate and you're going to spit your own track and then you're going to send for me again. So why maybe drill might get the blame is because we're both documenting
But is
in
that
front
drill?
of
Is that
everybody.
rap? That's rap. That's you literally
I mean,
saying rap.
I think it's different in a way.
yeah.
It's
because-
not, bro. That's
because
rap.
the language is a little more like specific. You know
What's
what I mean?
Huss and what's his face? Kojo Funds got beef, right? They always talk about they always send shots to each other. That's rap. I don't think.
I'm with you.
I don't think it makes a difference if it's drill. What? Just because they talk about roll.
I think with drill, I think with drill, your content's consistent with a certain line of.
I get what you're saying, but
know what I'm saying?
I feel you, but I don't know, man. I generally don't believe there's a correlation between youth crime and drill. I just feel like what the government's done to areas that because they focused on gentrifying it so much, they genuinely forgot about the repercussions for leaving kids on the road.
Yeah.
And it's only now it's blown back on them. They're like,
Yeah, but and then
what the fuck?
and it takes a lot more work for you to look inward and decide you want to change. It's the same thing with like racism. Like a lot of people probably don't want to be racist or have racist thoughts that they maybe grew up with, but it involves them having to look at themselves and tell themselves that they're wrong, which a lot of people are not prepared to do. It's the same with it's the same with the establishment. It's the same with the government. They're not willing to look at what they have been doing, basically stripping London and stripping the inner cities of everything that they needed to really function and give people an opportunity to just make themselves better. They've been doing it since the Labour government. Fuck Tony Blair. He's the one who really set the tone for gentrification,
Everything.
which
For
we're now seeing now. You know what I'm saying? So it's difficult because you can't really trace drill back to the murder rate, because even though we're seeing more and more headlines, 51st person stabbed in London this week or whatever, it's like, yeah, of course it's concerning, but again, it's like you say, it's been happening, and this is a repercussion of you not having enough care for your citizens,
That's my point.
for your people.
I know people that got stabbed.
You can't blame our art
that
form
they get
for that.
mentioned in the media. It's weird. I
It's
agree.
tough.
All you're doing is covering your own back by blaming drill. It's an easy thing to do. It's an easy fix for you to then rob young black people, young black boys of even more opportunity to make themselves better. Make
And you
more
know
of
what's jarring?
themselves.
If they take the opportunity away from them, what do they think these kids are going to become?
Yeah.
Because if they're literally rapping what they know, say they're rapping the only life they know, and then they start making money from it, and then you strip that away from them, they're going back to the only life they know. And then what happens? Then it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, like you can't censor what's going on in real life. The government like to paint this picture of Britain as this like
Utopia.
utopia, like what the countryside looks like. That's the vision. That's the vision of London that they want to like bring out there to the world. Nah, man, it's gully out here, and you've made it so.
No, I
Know what I
agree. I live in North London. I see it's like it's ridiculous, bruv. But then, like, it's a weird one, man.
It's a tough argument, man. Like,
And even the people who like the people like Lowski, the people like Heady One, and even someone like Unknown T, who now is like he's been in jail. He's been jailed for murder for something that happened like early last year, which again is gonna bring back the argument. Oh yeah, it's drill, blah 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 blah. Like they're drill artists. They come from the drill scene, but they've used it as a vehicle to take it towards something else. Lowski's now making more melodic, Afro swing, kind of like leaning music. Heady One is still
A little bit more commercial now.
is a little bit more commercial now as well. So it's not a thing where, well, it might not necessarily be a thing where drill artists are only going to be drill artists. They can venture out and be artists, like be artistic and spread their wings.
just need
and stuff.
a foot in the door, innit?
They just need a foot in the door, and now it's drill. Before it was grime. Before that it was like UK hip hop, and they've always had a problem with that.
do you feel like grime got as much stick as drill?
Yeah.
100%?
Bruv, it was bad at one point. Do you remember? This was years ago when I remember there was knife crime.
It was during the Operation Trident era.
Yeah, I remember. And then that was one.
But even from that era, I feel like Gigs was
Giggs
the
got
only one
blocked.
that I really, that's the one that I vividly remember. But I don't really remember many grime artists like getting stick like that.
But it was more so the presentation. And that's another thing. Drill's presentation, people in Bally's, all in black, a gang of them in a park, this, that, and the other. You can't see their faces.
They said about
That's
Stormzy.
scary to people.
But they had to say that
Same
about
with
Stormzy.
grime, I feel like. The presentation was bad. People in hoodies, tracksuits, all that stuff. And they even had that They even had that government initiative of like hug a hoodie. I can't remember what it was actually
What
about.
was that?
Hug a hoodie.
What does that mean?
I'm gonna look it up. But basically, it's them trying to combat this image of black boys as sinister because they wear hoodies and stuff.
That's jarring because all I you man know me. All I wear is hoodies, fam. Like, you man know that.
Palestine,
like-
Black Panther.
Like you
Malcolm
man
X.
know me. All I wear is either a hoodie or a jacket with a hoodie. Like, it's one of the two. But I mean, now someone got interviewed recently. I need to remember who it was. It might have been Fred. I don't know. And literally the interview was like, I think it was on BBC. I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah, it's basically just to.
you had a gang of people behind you. The guy was like, who was it? Someone got interviewed recently, and the interview was like, you had a gang of people behind you.
Oh no, that was Victoria Derbyshire on AJ Tracy.
Yeah. And then she was like, AJ Tracy had a gang of people behind you.
Fam, that's my friends.
And he's like, yo, that's my boys. It's like literally, it's like
She's an idiot, man.
15 people behind me. They're all my peoples. But that's how they view it. That's genuinely, that's how they view it.
Meanwhile, if she was to interview that Alex from Glastonbury kid,
Oh my God, you're a kid and you took your chance and you ran with it.
yeah.
Fuck
But
you.
again, that is a deeper
And that
issue.
you was the epitome of what the whole situation is for me, though. That kid summed it all up for me.
Well, yeah, again, but that's a wider issue.
What was you
just
gonna
like
say,
how
bro?
they see. Yeah, I mean, Hug a Hoodie was basically an initiative by David Cameron to show love to adolescents and make them like seem as if they're important and all that stuff.
That didn't go nowhere.
I mean, it went nowhere. Of course it didn't, because David Cameron is a pagan.
They're all pagans, man. Even my fucking David Lammy, who's the poster boy for Black MPs, is an idiot.
Yeah,
And he's Tottenham MP.
but
He's
we
an
are
idiot.
not. We are not a political podcast.
We're not, but let's not get into it. Sorry, guys.
It's cool.
I apologize, people's then.
But yeah, man, I feel like drill as an art form should be respected because it is another avenue for, you know, young blacks to express themselves, man. And at no point should that be taken away from them. And at no point should that be used as a way to blame for the wider issue within society. I don't think that's fair at all.
You think
but it is a hard conversation to have, man, because, you know, just like gangster rap, just how gangster rap was like blamed for, you know, whatever crime, the specific crime that was taking place in America at the time, like drill's going to be the exact same thing. If you've got a genre of music that is specifically talking about one thing, it's easy to attach that to what's going on in society, especially if it matches up. You know, and in drill, that's what they talk about. They talk about boring man up. So it's easy to attach the two together.
I was watching.
You know what I'm saying?
I was watching a video on Hip Hop DX, the breakdown. Shout out to Mers. He basically, the topic was, does gangster rap have a right to exist? And he obviously said yes. So by that logic, drill should too. And so the police basically trying to impede on that, and basically nullify it. Not only is that a breach of freedom of expression, it's a breach of like just basic rights.
Yeah,
to be able
human
to
rights.
do to be able to do what you want.
Well,
and
we
that's
know-
what we're trying to do
I feel like
to a generation of black boys who already neglected by society.
But is that crazy though, man?
Do they view us as humans?
What have these Europeans done to blacks since the beginning
Like,
of time?
we're
This
acting-
isn't crazy,
we're
bro.
acting like they view us as humans.
Trying to attach like a genre of music and blame that for what's going on in society isn't that mad in the grand scheme of things. What have they done to us our whole lives? Like this isn't crazy. So you
It just follows the pattern.
know what I'm saying?
It follows the pattern.
It's just the latest cycle. And drill eventually, maybe not necessarily will die out, because I don't think it will.
It's not.
But
It's not.
the next music is gonna come out. The next urban music, urban quote unquote, because I hate using that word, will come out. Are they then gonna keep the same energy? They probably they might.
They will. No, they will. It's all fun and games until like, isn't there a white rapper called H?
Yes. Shout out H.
What kind of music does he make? Is it drill or is it just?
It's kind of more just rap.
Alright, never mind.
Oh,
I was
he's
gonna say-
cool though.
I was gonna say no, but he's not gonna get no blowback. Professor Green never got no blowback. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Professor Green was on the Only Ways Essex. Do you know what I mean? Like these
Made
kind of
Josie too.
rappers, Dot Rotten, none of these man get blowback. None of them. I've never seen these guys on the face of the news.
Dot Rotten's black.
Not Dot Rotten, Devlin, sorry.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I feel
It's
you.
like,
Yeah, but they're different type of artists, aren't they?
no, but they're different type of color.
That too.
That's all that matters, man. I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not surprised they as soon as drill came out, we all knew where it was gonna go head towards. No one is surprised that
And people need to
They're trying to
understand,
block it.
drill's only been around for what? UK drill's only really been around since.
years?
Not even that, maybe like four, max 5.
yes.
Yeah.
I don't think it's been that long, has it?
It probably 6, 7 have been around for that long.
Oh yeah, 6-7 was Scribs and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, Scribs has been even before 6, 7. Scribs was out
But
here
then you
doing
remember
the thing.
6-7, I think one of them couldn't show his face. I forgot who it was.
Scribs.
Scribs in it. He couldn't show his face. He literally wasn't allowed to show his face on any music song
Yeah.
because of the police.
But again, like drill needs time to grow. I feel like there's always going to be that underground level of it where people are going to be talking about chefing guys and blah 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 blah. But the poster boys, the people I just mentioned, they're not necessarily on that anymore.
Heady's starting to leave it as well.
Question though. So is it drill because of the instrumentation or the content?
The content.
Probably the content, but
Okay.
the sound goes hand in hand.
But what separates drill? So is drill our version of gangster rap?
Good question. Maybe. I'd probably say yeah.
If that's the case, then it probably won't ever be accepted because
Gangster rap's accepting that.
I don't know if it is. How many gangster rappers do you hear that have like gone clear?
What's 50 Cent?
Yeah,
YG.
but where is he now?
YG.
And 50 Cent had hits. He was singing as well, so it's
What was
different.
Nipsey?
Nipsey weren't gone yet.
YG?
YG hasn't fully gone yet.
I mean, he's still like here though. He's sustainable.
like-
Yeah, it's sustainable, of
Are you
course.
talking about, like,
What type
Big
of
Big?
what
Yeah,
type
I'm
of
talking
level?
about Big
What
Big.
type of level? Are you
No, I
talking
think the last
50
one
Cent was who I was thinking.
the last one was 50 Cent.
Yeah.
Gone clear.
So then who?
50 Cent was the last one.
So then who since?
On that level, no one.
Okay, and then UK wise, who have we ever even had that?
Gigs.
Drill has just started though.
And Gigs, like he's somewhere else now. He's not really flying that
I feel
flag
like
as
we
much
grow
anymore,
over
is he?
here a lot more though. I don't feel like we won't stick to it, if that makes sense.
I mean, there was a period of like road rap and that, but no one really went clear other than Gigs.
Yeah.
So, but apart from that, like no one's really UK wise. No one's really blown off gangster rap apart from Gigs. I'd say.
Yeah, because Skepta changed himself quick.
And I
And
wouldn't
I've
even
never
describe
considered
Skepta
him
as that.
gangster rap either.
Yeah, same.
I feel you. He's
Yeah, but you've had like Roadside G's. They were like gangster grime, but you know,
But they fizzled out
they
quick.
feel so that
they're
quick.
back now. Shout out them.
Are they back?
Are they back?
They're back. Yeah. I interviewed
Grand
them a
opening,
couple
grand
years ago.
closing.
Don't do that. they've got a classic grime tune, Can't Come to the Roadside. It's about people like you coming to Brixton when you shouldn't.
Why'd you point at me not coming to Brixton?
Because you're from North, innit?
Listen, man, shout out to Tottenham, man. I love my area, man.
So does UK drill have a right to exist?
Yeah. We know how I
it
feel
does,
with that. I feel like the government needs to, actually, they're not going to do nothing, so fuck them too.
Yeah, they're going to carry on doing what they do to try and eliminate drill. I feel like they probably were like touching their hands together when Unknown T got done up.
They love it, bro. They love it.
Because again, it's more proof to them. Oh yeah, we're doing the right thing.
But then he stabbed someone 2018. That was before he even started making
Allegedly.
music. Allegedly, he stabbed someone 2017, 2018 before he even. Do you know what I mean? That proves my point that that's all they know. So if they find that avenue to get out of it, and you guys are blocking that, you look stupid.
Of course, they look stupid to us, but they seem normal.
But I
everybody
might be in
else.
the minority here, but I genuinely don't see the correlation between, like at all, between drill music and UK crime. I genuinely feel like if they're gonna do that, they're gonna do that with or without the music. All they'll do is replace Unknown T to Styles P.
That's fair enough. I do feel like drill has a right to exist, man. Any sort of outlet for inner city youths that allows them to express themselves should not be taken away in any way. So I would never say that it doesn't have a right to exist. It's an art form. So whether you like the music or not, it's an art form. It is what it is, man. So let the man live, man.
And if the government want to really get down to the cause of all this violence,
Sort it the fuck out.
look within yourselves and look at where you failed and start making and taking measures to make sure that shit.
They're not gonna do nothing, but they love
Bring
the
back
fact,
the youth clubs, man.
They're not gonna do nothing. They love the fact that there's black kids dying.
Bring back youth clubs, bring back EMA, bring back all that stuff.
We need more mentors as well.
Bruv, we got paid to go.
more
I remember
mentors.
in
More
secondary
mentors.
school, we got paid to go to school during Easter holiday. Like, I forgot what it was called, but you get paid £10 every time you go in. They don't do none of that shit anymore.
Fuck the Tories
Just the Tories?
and Labour too.
All of them, man.
All of them, bro.
I don't trust them.
Shout out to Jeremy Corbyn, though. I fuck with him.
I'm not even sure about him.
He's moist.
So I don't know where we go from here. 'Cause
moist.
I like him.
He peaked.
don't like any
he peaked when
politicians, man.
he peaked when Novelist and Akala told us to vote for him. After that, he's been a bit washed.
I fuck with Jeremy Corbyn.
No, I do too as a human, but he's done nothing for Labour. I'm sorry.
You know, he's for Palestine.